Echocalypse, and welcome again to another Echocalypse video!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll have a special video. Today we're gonna talk about the best bossing team in the game right now until they release different units and different heroes in the game. So we'll be talking about the different cases that they will release and how it will affect the game. Now, if you want to go and check the SEA guides or whatever, they have different kind of synergies and metas that they play there, and different units and more units actually. Here we have these specific units. What's the best bossing teams right now to use them currently, also in the holiday event, or if you want to use them specifically on any boss that comes later in the game. Now I'll be speaking about them. There's some units that you can't remove from the lineup and some units that you can remove from the lineup and replace them with somebody else. Now first of all, let me tell you about this boss. If you want to do maximum damage, if you don't have even these units, how to go about it. Now this boss, if you check the mechanics of this boss deals magical damage, also deals damage of 30% of max HP, and ignores defense. So defense is an issue. You need somebody to sustain, like a healer, or playing the Ankh and or anybody that can give you a little bit of shields, so the shields can protect a little bit. I don't know if he removes shields, but I played I have another account. It's very hard pay to win account. Shields are protecting me and I'm dealing even more damage. Now the thing is about this boss increases his armor by 30% and his block increased by 100%, and he reduces crit by 50%, and when he dies he revives himself with a percentage of his max HP. So you need to understand something, that this boss have a lot of armor. If you don't have any armor reduction or any armor break, you need to play all magical units. This is why Fenriru doesn't deal a lot of damage here. And the burn teams that we destroyed in the ranking. In my ranking, I'm rank 1 EU on my other account, and I'm absolutely, the gap between me and between the second highest damage dealer is absolutely crazy. I do like triple or quadruple the damage that he deals. He runs the same lineup as my friend Rain here runs. He runs Frentia, he runs Shiyu, he runs Rayon, and he runs Aiken and Kiki with I don't know if he runs Audrey or somebody else. Let me tell you something. Kiki and Aiken does decent damage to this boss because they deal magical damage. Now Ferentina and Fenriru and Rayon does not deal that much damage. The burn actually deal a little bit decent damage, but they not deal as much damage because they are physical damage dealers, and there's no way for them to surpass the armor that he has. So without further ado, let's go and talk about the best team for you to play against bosses. Even if it's magical or physical, you can play around this boss because it's really good and really versatile. And one more thing about this boss deals magical damage. So if you're having a squad, instead of playing armor on your team, you can play resistance. So it means you need to use these sets that you have that gives resistance, and this that gives also resistance to your lineup, so you can take less damage from the boss. Plus there's a trick that we use also to maximize also our survivability, which is this gear. This left gear always give you resistance. So if you want to max it out, like it's +6 here and this is +6 for me, I can remove this, reset it, make it to 0, so I don't care about the armor, give all the +6 here to here. It will be something like +10 by the end, but it will increase my resistance and overall resistance, plus the modification upgrades that I have here, which will help me a lot in survivability. That's a small thing, small details. These all small details accumulate a little bit by little bit and help you accumulate and deal more damage and even survive a little bit more. So keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the lineup that I wanted to talk about in the video. First of all, I got Regina today. I was pulling on Aiken banner and I got her. I'm not that sad because if we're gonna check our 7 daily log and rewards for Christmas, we got her skin, so now I can use her skin on her actually and put it on the screen, which I will do later. And I got Camilla back to back. This is the 3rd day in a row I get an SSR in the daily summons. I got Camellia, which is unlocked her link with Audrey in the intimacy or in the center. So I gave her some hearts. Audrey became stronger. My lineup became stronger and my power of my general account became stronger. This is an update for my account. Now let's talk. There's main units that you don't want to remove from this lineup. and one of them is Audrey. Now, why Audrey? Audrey has two skills that you want to look at. Now, she deals magical damage. It means her damage actually does damage to the boss. So her skill is really good. But you need to understand one thing about the boss. You can't deal control effects on the boss. He's control immune. So silence doesn't work, blind doesn't work, and stuns doesn't work on the boss, or freeze. He absolutely does nothing to him. So playing somebody like Zawa, somebody like Nightingale will not affect him. Well, Nightingale deals magical damage. This is the good side of it, but it doesn't. You can play other units that scale with damage better than Nightingale. Nightingale just afflicts silence. And Niz, her freeze doesn't affect the boss. And anything else stuns the leader. The leader doesn't affect the boss. Now her ultimate, which is the most important thing, of course, and her passive. Her ultimate, she will give you regen, and she will give you energy at the start of the battle to the back line. Then they can deal more and more, and we will talk why, because we want them to spam because of a skill mechanic, and this is the armor break team. So we want them to accumulate and give armor break to the enemy as much as possible. Plus, if you max her out to 7 stars, whenever your main unit or any unit drops below 50% HP, she gets them back to 50% HP, and she buffs the highest attack unit on your lineup with crit rate equal to 40% for 2 rounds, which is absolutely phenomenal. This is why maxing her, and I maxed her on my pay to win account, and she's dealing insane supporting. This is why she's the best in the game. Now, her passive, when she starts with full rage, of course, but when she goes below 40%, increase all allies attack for 15%, and if you get her to tier 6, it's to 20%. Absolutely crazy. She will drop below 40% or 50%, and she will give this buff, and it will be a game changer. Now, the second unit on this lineup, and we will be talking about, is Pan Pan. Pan Pan is a unit that you will not remove from the lineup simply because of her first skill, which is her auto attack. She will 100% put a 10% hit rate on the boss. This is not a control effect. This is a debuff, and 10% is really good even at 0 stars. This is the most important mechanic for this. Other than that, she gives shields. Now, 10%, it means the boss hits you with AoE. It doesn't hit with single target. It means the boss, if he misses this AoE, the entire damage, you will not take it. And of course, if you get her to 4 stars, it will be for 20%, which will make it sustain even more and make it even better. Now, her ultimate, she will give shields to 2 random enemies and herself as well. Now, if you get her to 7 stars, which is the point, this is why she's very a high recommended unit to go and invest all in on in the future. She will help you on any lineup. She removes, first of all, she removes control immunity. If in the future we have any type of boss that can stun, freeze, or do anything silence, she can remove these debuffs. She grants a shield for 2 rounds for all the allies. If they have the shield, they will have 30% crit rate, which is very crucial against bosses. Plus, her passive is full rage. That's what you need to do. So full rage, start at the battle, give everybody the shields. Everybody will crit for 30% more. These are the basic main lineup. Now let's talk about the supports, and some of them you can remove, some of them you can keep. I recommend to keep the team as I tell you how to keep it, which will help you a lot. Now Regina is also another support and rage reduction, but rage reduction doesn't work on the boss because it's a control effect, and the boss is control immunity. Now she has good things about her. She deals physical damage and reduce hit rate by 10% for 1 round, just like Pan Pan, which is absolutely crazy. So if you get her to 4 stars, it's 15%. Pan Pan is 20% chance for the boss to miss the attack, which is absolutely insane for this run, and this is what kept us surviving actually when we did the test. Now, her most important thing is when she hits, she will hit physical damage and apply armor break to front row enemies, which is the boss. There's only one boss. He's a front row and back row at the same time. She will apply. There's no percentage that she will or she may not apply. And its resistance reduced by 10% and damage reduction reduced by 10%. So armor and resistance 10% off, and the boss will be dealing 10% less damage, which is absolutely insane. And it goes off for her to reduce more energy, which will not help you against the bosses, but the armor break functionality is what you need. Now her passive, she gains 1 stack of expertise. When she dies, the expertise, for every stack, she removes rage. This will not happen with the boss. Even if she dies, the rage will continue on the boss. Now her mechanic is, because she works with Pam Pam with hit rate and you reduce hit rate, plus armor break, which will go with the team that we synergize with. Now, what unit also works with armor break, and she's a must, she's the core in the main lineup for you to maximize your damage? It's Bastet. Yes, I know Bastet is not the best unit in the game, but in the bossing mode, only in bossing, she's the main unit to play on the, simply because of her passive. What does her passive do? Each time she gets attacked, she apply to the boss two armor break stacks for 2 rounds. Up to 2 armor breaks. So if he hits once, he gets an armor break. If he hits twice, he gets armor break. And it's 5% by 5%, not 10% like Regina, but it's also great. Now, her ultimate, or her first skill, she reduced the healing received by the boss by 30%, which this boss we don't benefit from her, but she does magical damage and high magical damage, which is 120% of damage, and it goes up to 144%. The receiving, if any boss we got it with a minion that heals it, Bastet will be the one, and Bastet will be for a long time the bossing meta because of the armor break synergy. Now, what does Bastet do with her ultimate? She deals magical damage, which is good against this boss in specific, and she applies Ominous on all targets, which is the boss. Each debuff received comes with true damage equal to 30% of her attack, of her base attack. So it multiplies, and the boss will have a lot of debuffs on him, because we're playing damage reduction, we're playing hit rate more on him, we're playing armor break, we're also gonna have bleed, we're gonna have a lot of debuffs, many other debuffs, and we're gonna have also attack down debuff, which I will show you with the other units. So this is removed after 5 times. Now, it doesn't state that it will happen again, and we have 5 rounds against the boss. So the boss will take the full damage from this skill. Now, of course, if you upgrade her more and more, you will have that Omnimus all targets get with 100% chance to apply armor break again. So more armor break for 2 rounds. Target with attribute debuff will lose 30% of attack for 2 rounds. It means she will reduce the attack taken from the boss, which is absolutely crazy. This is why she's a hardcore in this lineup. Another hardcore for this lineup, which is Set. And why is Set? Now, Set is so underrated and so overrated. Overrated in PvP and in story mode or in PvE. She's not the best unit, but she's the best in bossing, and let me talk about why. She's best in the armor break department, not in the flame. If you're playing her with fire, she'll deal nothing. If you're playing her outside with any other synergy, she also does nothing. Now, what her action, and she deals magical damage against this boss. This is why she accelerates. Now, she deals magic damage to 4 random enemies, which is the boss, because there's a boss, and 50% chance to apply armor break for 1 round. At 4 stars, it will become 100% a chance to apply armor break for 2 rounds, and it will help her even deal more damage. Now, this is not the basic one, but armor break also works with her. Now, her ultimate, which she doesn't actually, the utility from it, she doesn't apply it, which is bleed. She only she deals magical damage, and she apply bleed only to targets that have armor. I mean, shield. This boss doesn't have shield nor heal, so she will not apply the bleed on him, but there will be bleed, and we'll be talking about this later. At 7 stars, she deals damage equal to 300% of attack to targets with armor break, and this is absolutely crazy. Plus, it has an additional 50% crit rate. This skill will become always critting by 50%. So this skill has additional 50% crit. Plus, Pan Pan will give you crit rate. It will be insane. Plus, the highest damage dealer, she will be here, the highest attacker on your lineup, she will be here. She will get also from Audrey crit rate, which will make it equal 100% crit rate, and she has crit rate in general on her stats, which will make her hit crit rate. And what do we mean by crit rate? crit rate. If your crit damage is, let's say, 100%, so 100% of the 300% will be added on top of that, or 50% of the crit damage will be added on top of that, so you will deal even more damage to the boss, which scales massively. Now, her passive, her normal attacks skills deal 30% extra damage to the target that have received healing all shields in the current round, which is this in the future versus bossing with shields and healing will make her the most broken unit in the game for bossing. But right now, this boss doesn't have this, so it will not be effective. But the only thing that we care about is she deals even more damage to the armor break units, which is crazy. Now, a unit that you can replace and you can keep her, which I 100% tell you, like, keep her, she's good, she deals decent damage, although she's physical damage dealer, that you can replace with Icon, because Icon will even benefit from also armor break, because armor break affects resistance and armor both at the same time, and she deals a lot of damage, plus she ultimates twice in a row, which is absolutely crazy. And it's Tawaret. Now, why Tawaret works, I'll be explaining why. Her first skill, she will deal damage physical to, but she will apply bleed. Now, bleed is very important, and I hope we get more units with bleed, because bleed ignores armor and resistance, and it 100% goes through and deals damage to the enemy, which is 5% of max HP. But it doesn't exceed 100% of her attack, which will always be 100% of her attack, which is absolutely crazy. Now, her ultimate, she deals physical damage to the enemy, but the best part of it, for every debuff on the target, which is armor break, hit rate reduction, attack reduction, crit reduction, she will deal 50% as physical damage up to 150%. So she will always deal 150%. This is at 0. Let's say she has no stars. Now at 7 stars, it will go up to 300%, which is crazy. And she will apply bleed for 2 rounds again. And this skill has additional 50% pierce rate. It means it goes through shields, through armor, through resistance. You will pierce this enemy and deal more damage, which she accelerated. So we tried the difference between her and Kiki. Although she's physical damage, she dealt more damage than Kiki, which Kiki was doing crazy good damage actually. She deals more physical damage than Fenriru, or equal to Fenriru. Fenriru, you can play her with the armor break team because she deals physical damage and she capitalized on armor break. This is why she outshined Kiki, and Aiken and Fenriru were the one that equal to each other with the damage, but Aiken shined even more. So Tawaret is an option here. Her passive, when attacking enemies with armor break, deals extra 20%, and we all have her to 4, so she will deal 25% extra damage. But the best thing is when we get her to tier 6, which I have on my other account, she deals 30% extra damage, which I'm in love with all of her mechanic. Tawaret, Bastet, Set, Regina, Audrey, Pan. Perfect lineup. Now you can replace some one of them. If you want to replace anybody, you might replace Tawaret if you want to replace her, and you can add Aiken. I 100% tell you and advise you to play Aiken because she's really good with the damage. Plus she deals twice the damage if you have her at 3 stars. Her banner is up. You can still play her. We absolutely trashed Rayon. Anybody with Rayon user are not dealing that much damage. She deals physical damage. The boss is anti-physical. He gets more magical damage. Plus, Shiyu is magical damage, but she's a tank. She doesn't deal as much damage as the others. And Winnow, they're playing Winnow also with them because Winnow is other burn fire team, and she deals also physical damage. And all the burn, it does decent damage, but not as much as this lineup that I told you. It's an absolutely crazy. From my point of view, I'm telling you, I have another account. I paid for every single thing. I bought everything, even the skins. Anything that with the transaction, I bought it there. And I'm dealing the best damage on my server there. And by miles, nobody is catching up. There's people that invested more than me, still don't deal half the damage that I do with this specific squad, this specific lineup that I just told you about. Keep that in mind. And hopefully if I get more comps and tier comps, this was not only by me done, this was done by the help of others. So we put our hands in hands and we did this to you, for you, and for you to actually enjoy this content. Many of them were telling me, don't make this video, don't tell them about this, we don't want them to compete against us. But hey, I'm here to give you and spread the information. Anything that I will be discovering, I will be making it and telling you. And yeah, that was it for the video.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.